numbers he's put up. As Mark said earlier, he's been doing a lot of distributing recently, and a good young officiating crew here at the Staples Center as we're set to go. And what makes this matchup so much fun is that you've got the best offensive team in the NBA against a team that in many cases is the best defensive team, and they're starting to play defense like the Spurs were accustomed to. Some of the matchups early: Bryant on Roger Mason, and Bynum on Duncan. That will be fun as well. Bynum starting to really come into his own once again this year. Duncan's first jumper, he banks it in.
And that's just following the scouting report of your Andrew Bynum. Those are shots you don't mind. Tim Duncan shooting 15-footers.
Bynum rushed it. Bynum's coming off maybe his two best games in back-to-back games, but he didn't go up against a guy like Tim Duncan in those two, so it'll be a nice test for his continued improvement. Fisher and Parker. The matchup at the point. Parker throws it away. Michael Finley can't get to it. Spurs don't turn it over very often. In fact, they're the best in the NBA in that department. And as Gregg Popovich looks on, he's a 4-time champion. The guy on the other bench, a 9-time champion. And Mason called for a reaching foul. Each team starting their annual road stretch. We've had a lot of home games. You see that bandage on Popovich had just recently had some minor surgery on it. Bryant inside of Walton. Luke Walton able to put it in. First assist of the afternoon for Kobe Bryant.
When you are playing with star players and you understand that they're willing passes, it puts more bounce in your effort to get open.
Duncan given the look by Bynum. And Duncan not that time. Lakers have been just sensational at home this year. 22-3 on their home floor. Spurs, meanwhile, on the road this year at 12-6. Parker on Bryant this time. Walton can't get it. Back out. Bryant's jump shot is good.
But I think you need to play Bryant to pass early in games. He's shown a consistent tendency to want to pass early, score late. Like all great scorers do, I think you got to make him shoot often through the first 3 quarters and then double him late if it's still a game.
Parker with 6 on the shot clock. Jump shot. That's good. Tony Parker once again shooting well from the field, just under 50% while averaging 20 a game. And he's healthy after problems he had with his sprained ankle. Fisher misses. Bottom of the rebound. Of course, the key for the Spurs is always defense. Gregg Popovich was not happy a couple of weeks ago and really let his team have it. If they weren't playing the kind of defense that he's used to. Since then, they've played well. Are they getting close, Jeff, to being the defensive team we used to see?
Well, the last 4 games, they played a lot better defensively as Mason picks up his second foul in the jump shot. They're playing better, but the competition hasn't been as strong, and it's always over the long haul that you can see a team's commitment to defense.
Speaking of defense, Bruce Bowen, who this year is coming off the bench and receives his usual boos when he enters the Staples Center. He'll come in as Mason has picked up that second foul.
How about Bruce Bowen was 3rd in the voting for forwards in the Western Conference?
Well, same with E. From New Jersey being 3rd. I mean, hey, there's a couple starters that shouldn't be starting in the All-Star game, but it shows you the problems with leaving it in the fans' hands. It means too much to too many players to leave it just to them.
Well, Bowen has been somebody for years has been doing clinics in China, and now with the voting online in China, that's what many surmise is the reason he received so many votes. Tim Duncan said, you know, if you'd done one more clinic this past summer, maybe you would have made it. As his teammates were ribbing him a little bit. Bowen certainly an all-star defender. And he misses that shot probably by about a foot.
But every shot by San Antonio so far has been a jump shot. They've got to get at the basket.
Nice pass, Gasol. Count it, and a foul. Nope, they wave it off before the shot. So they'll take it out of bounds, but a pretty feed from Gasol.
Well, probably the correct call. The reason why is because the foul was committed on the pass. So before the catch, body all over Andrew Bynum, but a good job of securing the basketball and looking to attack the rim.
Matt Bonner made the call on the floor as he picks up his first. Walton looking. Bryant steps back for the jumper. Kobe Bryant shooting early. He's got 6 quick points. Lakers by 4. Both teams have played a lot of their games. They've played some of the fewest amount of road games in the NBA, these two, and they're both going on extended road trips. Being away from home as Duncan shot in and out. Gasol the rebound. Bynum calling for it. Bynum earlier this week had a career-high 42 points against the Clippers. Misses that one, and he's 0 for 2 to start.
So what I like there is his getting position in transition, so he's sealed in the paint. That's a heck of an offensive trip for him.
Duncan looking for his offense early, misfires. Here comes Bryant. This is the second meeting between these two. A foul on the entry pass. That's going to be Bonner's second. They played 11 days ago in San Antonio. Spurs won in the final seconds. So right back, that was one of the more exciting regular season games that we've had so far this year. And after the blowout in the first game, we could only hope that we get a good close one here in this one.
But I love what Bynum's doing in transition. Like, he's running the floor and posting in the lane, getting deep, great position, 2 feet in the paint.
Fisher won't go. Duncan the rebound. All right, let's look at this end for the Lakers. Everybody says for the Lakers to win the championship here, they have to really improve defensively. Mark, have they taken any strides in that department?
And talking to Kobe Bryant before the game, as we see Tony Parker knock down the jump shot, he said the reason why they've made strides is because of the play of Andrew Bynum. People are falling in love with his scoring ability the last couple of ball games, but really they said it's about his rebounding and his intensity on the defensive end that has completed them so far.
And Gregg Popovich doesn't like what he sees, so he calls a quick timeout as the Lakers jumped out to a 4-point lead.
Well, Tim Duncan's got to do a better job defending the post early. He's allowing Bynum to catch it deep. Any great post player is going to score when he's got 2 feet in the paint. Andrew Bynum is on a roll the last 3 games.
The RV's made its way to the Staples Center in Los Angeles. Another sellout crowd. The NBA on ABC. Of course, coming up, the All-Star game is going to be in Phoenix this year on February the 15th. Starters announced earlier this week. There it is for the Western Conference. So the 7 reserves will be announced after the coaches vote later this week. We asked Mark and Jeff to come up with their reserves. Jeff, why don't you go first?
Well, we agree on the first 5, but I've got Darren Williams and Paul Millsap from the Utah Jazz. Paul Millsap as a starter this year, 24 games, 18 points, 11 rebounds. I want him on my team. Utah's going to let Boozer go and sign Millsap.
I'm sorry, I couldn't contain myself, man. Just, you never cease to amaze me. But I have Tony Parker, Dirk Nowitzki, Brandon Roy, Pau Gasol, Chauncey Billups, Carmelo Anthony, and then Shaquille O'Neal. You have 2 guys from the Utah Jazz as reserves in the Western Conference. You're better than that, Coach.
Well, you got somebody off Phoenix, and they're just totally laying down. So I'm not going to apologize for putting 2 hard-working players on the floor. Carmelo Anthony's hurt and has been for 3 weeks, and Shaquille O'Neal's part of an underachieving team.
Parker, tough shot, puts it in after a fancy block by Bynum. Both of you guys strongly feel if you're under 500, you're not making it, correct?
I have a hard and fast rule, and I think if somebody else like Paul Millsap is averaging what he's averaging, playing with that force, that heart, that competitive spirit. But because he's been a bench guy and a second-round pick, no one wants to give him the credit he should have.
How about Bynum making a claim? Great block, strong moves, and the Lakers back up by 4.
And I also think there should be a rule, Mike, that in the All-Star, you get a 13th guy, someone that has come out of nowhere to be your 13th man, whether he plays or doesn't play. And my guy is Von Wafer from the Houston Rockets, out of the league, and now he's a starter and playing exceedingly well. How about that, Mark?
I am speechless, man.
I don't care.
I am absolutely speechless. If I was not calling games with you, I would stay and make sure I watch every Sunday just to hear some of the crazy things that you throw out.
What's great? Paul Millsap's crazy?
No. Von Wafer's at home saying, are you kidding me?
I said it comes out of the blue. It's not an all-star, but it's like somebody who deserves some props for perseverance. I mean, I love the guys who have great perseverance in our league, who don't get things handed to him. He keeps working, he got cut, work and cut. Now he's found a home. Good for him.
You really did that with your pick of Millsap. You rewarded a hard-working guy that was ready and is doing the job.
No, that guy's an all-star. He is underrated.
Well, the Millsap and Wafer families right now are rejoicing, calling each other as they're having one of their best days.
No, this whole thing about Paul Millsap, people are missing. Like, this guy, he's 24 and 15. This guy, I mean, it's going to affect how Utah goes about financially committing because they can't keep both of them. They're going to have to pick. And I think, as great as Boozer is, they're going to pick Millsap.
Well, I totally agree. The reason why, you're cheaper. You're getting a lot of the same things that both of those guys bring to the table. But I can't believe that you're just going to ignore the Denver Nuggets being in first place and Carmelo Anthony playing a crucial part of that.
He's hurt. He's been hurt for 3 weeks. They're 7-5 without him. Hey, I think he's a great player. Don't get me wrong. Carmelo Anthony's a great player. But I give a lot of credit to Chauncey Billups, and I think George Karl has done an absolutely fabulous job with that team. I don't think they're an extremely talented team.
It's probably one of the toughest years in recent memory to pick all-stars because of so many key guys. As Kobe Bryant knocks it down, so many key guys are injured, and it's kind of thrown the whole process out of whack. There's going to be a couple of guys who might make it for the first time, and that'd be a pretty cool thing. I don't know if Millsap's going to make it, but it's not a shock that he's in the conversation. As the Lakers get back on D. 7-point lead for the Lakers. They're shooting 60% from the field. Tony Parker way off. Duncan right there. Draws the foul, won't go. And he'll get to the free throw line.
And I don't know if you're aware of the fact that you had to pick a backup center that you did not have on your list.
Pau Gasol is my backup center. Duncan, no, look, hey, let's face it now. Let's face it. These, how they do the Duncan's a center, and they put him out as forward. Why are they faking it like that? He's a center. That's what he plays.
You still have to follow the rules. Jeff Van Gundy just can't follow his own rules.
The NBA doesn't even follow the rules. They got him as a forward, and he's a center, Tim Duncan. So I've got Gasol, who's a forward, as my backup center. I can do that. If the NBA can do it, so can I.
So you're getting a taste of what I have to deal with every week.
No, I'm being serious. Gasol played center last year when Bynum was out.
No, you're absolutely right.
Mike,
but it's
please
semantics here.
Don't help him, Mike.
No, it's semantics. I like his emotion. I like his passion. 5 minutes remaining here in the first. Meanwhile, these two teams should be well represented. Parker on both of your lists. And Kobe Bryant asked him before the game, who's a deserving all-star? Who really needs to be? And obviously it's his teammate, but he felt Pau Gasol is very deserving. As Fisher can't connect. Parker tracks down the rebound. Nice save. Ginóbili trying to thread the needle. Ball deflected and stolen. Gasol after Fisher barrels down Ginóbili. Fisher off the mark early. He's 0 for 4. And Ginóbili says, hold on, and then throws it ahead. Parker in the paint. And that's almost a guarantee.
And some people would say, hey, 1-on-3, poor decision. I say good decision. That's the best shot you're going to get against San Antonio. Tony Parker, head of steam in the paint, one of the best finishers that we have in the game.
Gasol misses. And you look at Gasol this year, averaging 17.5 points, 9 rebounds, shoots 56% from the field. Since he has come to LA, their regular season winning percentage phenomenal as Duncan easily gets to the basket.
The first bad defensive trip for Andrew Bynum, allowing Duncan to blow by him and get to the rim.
And an offensive foul. Moving screen. It's on Bynum, so Bynum has 2 fouls.
And if you're Bynum, you have to be disciplined enough to say, hey, Tim Duncan, if you make jump shots all afternoon long, I can live with that. But you cannot live with him getting to the rim.
Duncan will go to the bench and get his rest. Bynum will go with the 2 fouls, bringing in Lamar Odom. Odom, who's been a big story all season for the Lakers. This is his contract year. He's going to be an unrestricted free agent. Coming off the bench, didn't like it at first. And now starting to play well. Last couple of games, he's really played well. Parker. Tony Parker for 3. Way short. And the fans delighting in the air ball. Odom throws it ahead. Bryant for 3. Gasol the rebound. And a foul on the entry pass. It's going to go against Ginóbili. Ginobili's health, as you said earlier, so critical. This last year in the playoffs when these two teams met in the Western Conference Final, he had the ankle injury, wasn't 100%, rested for a while, then played in the Olympics for Argentina, re-aggravated the injury to the point where he had to have surgery back in September, and then he missed 12 games, and he's slowly getting back. But they need him to play at his all-star level to win a championship. They'll be good no matter where he plays, but for them to win a championship, he has to be superb.
Well, and I think Gregg Popovich would tell you he's their best competitor, and they need him to compete at that ferocious level that the Kobe Bryants compete at.
When you think about it, that's the reason why they beat the Lakers in San Antonio. It was Ginóbili in the first half coming into the ball game and immediately having an impact.
Ginóbili had 27 against the Lakers 11 days ago. Bowen will cross the screen, can't get it to go. Walton battling, Alberto knocked it away. Last touch by Walton, Spurs ball. Alberto going with that mountain man look. That's a thick beard.
I think that's going to weigh him down even more on his vertical jump. I'd go aerodynamic if I was Alberto right now.
Like those ski jumpers. We have a whistle and a foul against Fisher. I think they shaved their whole body to get their aerodynamic. Well, Kobe Bryant came out aggressively looking to shoot, Mark, early in this one.
Well, the thing you don't want to have is Kobe Bryant knocking down jump shots. Has the ability to get to the cup at any point during the course of the game. So when he's knocking down jump shots, you have your hands full.
Thanks for watching ESPN on ABC, home of the NBA Finals.
Back in Los Angeles, Lakers lead the Spurs 18-15, just under 3 minutes to go in the first. Of course, this is a rematch of the Western Conference Finals from last year, featuring two of the greatest in the NBA, and the two teams that have been to the conference, to the NBA Finals 9 of the last 10 years. Spurs and Lakers have won 7 of the last 10 titles. They've met 6 of the last 10 years, and once again, they're on a collision course as they are clearly the two best teams in the West, led by certain future Hall of Famers. And Tim Duncan having another strong year. He's going to be 33 years old by the time the playoffs roll around, now in his 12th year, and still enjoying it. Him and Gregg Popovich have formed an amazing duo. We were talking to Popovich yesterday and asked him about, how does he keep it fresh with this team, and especially with guys that have been with him all this time. And he said humor is one of the biggest parts of it, Jeff.
Yeah, and I think that's knowing your players. I mean, obviously you have a great feel for Duncan, what he best responds to. But if you think about what Duncan does, is he keeps playing at a high level. Most guys, as the teams get a little bit older, they want to do less, and they go downhill. Duncan's been able to keep it at a high level, even as his team's going through a semi-rebuilding.
Well, one of the reasons why is because you talk about his professionalism, his dedication, summertime, running the hills, turning tires, lifting weights, doing all sorts of things to make sure that his body continues to be able to withstand a long season.
They had a huddle earlier this season. Remember, both Parker and Ginóbili were out for a stretch, and Roger Mason, Matt Bonner, George Hill, the rookie, they were all in the lineup at the time. And Popovich looked in the huddle. He said, "Who are you guys?" And they walked out of the huddle, and Duncan went over and he said, "I'm Tim Duncan. I've been here for 12 years." So those two they have such a great relationship. Know when it's time to joke, know when obviously when it's time to play.
And I think an underrated aspect of that is Gregg Popovich can coach Tim Duncan as hard as he coaches anyone, and he does it. And so everyone else, as Finley knocks in a 3, falls into line. Because if Popovich can demand of Duncan, then he certainly can demand of Finley, Alberto, Thomas, Parker, Ginóbili.
Kobe Bryant's jump shot won't go. Alberto tips it out to Parker. Coming up on the 2-minute mark, 1-point game right now. Trevor Ariza and Sasha Vujacic have come in, 2 good defenders for the Lakers.
I just look at the Lakers bench. and it seems that they have such an advantage over the Spurs talent-wise. So the Spurs, to make up for that talent gap, have to play a high basketball IQ game, and they've got to know where their strengths are.
Spurs have come back to regain the lead after trailing by 7, an 11-3 run. Bowen and Bryant have had a lot of battles in their time. Trevor Ariza drives hard. Count it, and a foul. Blocking foul called on Bowen. And Trevor Ariza with a chance for a three-point play.
You got to give this guy a lot of credit. There's guys that come off the bench like Jason Terry and Ginóbili that are spectacular scorers. This guy is as good a bench player as there is in this league. For what he does for this basketball team, high energy, slasher, outstanding defender. Phil Jackson has found a gem in Trevor Ariza.
He's only 23 years old, played 1 year college at UCLA. He's from LA. This is his second year with the Lakers. Started off with the Knicks and a little brief tenure with Orlando, and he has become a major part of the Lakers' success at both ends of the floor, but especially defense. Kurt Thomas misses Odom the rebound.
And you look at the success that the Lakers had last time facing the Spurs, putting Trevor Ariza on Tony Parker. They're doing it again this afternoon.
Bowen, good defense, got a piece of it, but it's still Laker ball. And when we asked Popovich about the Lakers' defense, Ariza was one of the first guys he mentioned. He says, hey, they've got Ariza, they've got Fisher, they've got length. They've got a chance to be good defensively. They've been inconsistent at that end of the floor. Ariza can also shoot the three. That one halfway down before popping out. Coming up on a minute remaining here in the first. Ariza chasing Parker. Good defense. That's a three. Michael Finley with his second three-pointer.
Well, the Spurs have the second best percentage from the three-point line in the league. And the Lakers, that is a huge defensive weakness. Not only do they give up a pretty good percentage from three, but they also give up a lot of attempts.
Vujicic. Shot clock down to 4. Bryant drives on Bowen. Terrific defense from Bowen. And Alberto the rebound. Shot clock and game clock, about a 2-second difference. Lakers do have a foul to give as we wind down the first. Parker with a hand in his face. Gasol got up and contested it nicely. Alberto keeps it alive. Finley gets it back. Vujicic knocks it away. Finley puts it up at the buzzer. And that will end the first quarter. So 1 quarter complete here between the two best teams in the Western Conference. Tony Parker with 9 early points. Kobe Bryant 8 points and 3 rebounds. As neither team hits the 40% mark from the field. This presentation of this NBA Sunday on ABC continues after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Better teams, but he said something interesting yesterday, Jeff, about, obviously he wants to win, but he uses these games to learn how to play the Lakers should they come playoff time against them.
Exactly, and that's really, the regular season is for seeding, and it's also for learning how you might play against certain matchups, be it individual matchups for a team or what you want to try to take away team-wise.
Lakers, meanwhile, you saw or heard a big cheer. Jordan Farmar in the game. It was kind of unexpected. Farmar had knee surgery, has missed the last 17 games, activated today, and back on the floor a lot sooner than they thought. Originally, they felt maybe all-star break, but here's Farmar getting some action. And that's a testament to how hard he worked to get himself back into shape. Obviously, some pretty good surgery as well. Shot clock at 9. Odom hits the jumper.
That's what they want Lamar Odom to do offensively. Look to be aggressive and make plays. That time you have a mismatch. There's a guy his size and length can knock down the long one.
There's George Hill, the backup point guard, the rookie from IUPUI, as Mason nails it. Mason 4th in the NBA in three-point shooting, including a couple of game winners. He had the game-winning shot the first time these two teams met each other 11 days ago.
That's just scouting report. Vujacic goes underneath the screen and roll and allows Mason to get a wide open look.
Nice move from Pau Gasol. 5 points for Gasol. We're all even here. 90 seconds gone by in the second.
This is a tough time for the Spurs, or should be offensively, if the Lakers play well defensively, because they don't have any of their top 3 players or scorers on the floor. So, as Mark said, to go under a Mason pick and roll and give him an open 3, and then to foul him as he drives and tries to finish, it's unnecessary. This is where the Lakers should have the ability to get a cushion.
And there you see Mason, who has been really a big part of San Antonio this year with all the injuries. A young man who grew up in Washington, D.C., then went to college at Virginia for 3 years, was a second-round pick of the Bulls, played briefly with the Bulls, the Raptors, spent some time in Israel, spent some time in Greece, last couple of years in Washington, where he started to get healthy and started to see some playing time, and then signed a free agent deal with the San Antonio Spurs, and he was really a huge help with the injuries early in the season, as a foul called on Finley.
Exactly what we're talking about in pick and roll situations. Mason is a knockdown shooter. If you're Vujacic, you have to fight over that screen. Does not, goes under and allows Mason to step into a rhythm jump shot. Too good of a shooter to give him that type of airspace.
He's shooting 46% from three-point range. Farmar fires away. And Duncan the rebound. Vujacic harassing Mason. They play a little catch. Mason steps back. Off-balance shot won't go.
And again, Mason's a much better shooter when his feet are set.
As Jeff mentioned, Spurs second in the NBA in three-point shooting. They're 3 of 4 so far here today. Gasol draws the foul. Gasol will go to the line for 2. Finley called for his second. Well, the difference Gasol has made since that trade from Memphis last year. The team finished so strong and then making it to the NBA Finals. This year off to, again, a terrific start. Knocks down the first. Our NBA calendar. ESPN Sunday later tonight. Coverage against 6:30 Eastern. Rockets and Pistons from Detroit. NBA TV Fan Night Tuesday. Coverage beginning at 7. With Charlotte playing here at the Lakers before they go on a long road trip. TNT Thursday doubleheader. Cleveland at Orlando. San Antonio will be in Phoenix. And then ABC next Sunday will be in Detroit for the Pistons and the Cleveland Cavaliers. That's a big weekend for the Pistons. They play Boston on Friday, Cleveland on Sunday. Chance to show if can they get involved in the Eastern Conference race.
Can they just try? How about let's start with trying hard.
They have been so inconsistent.
And you can talk about chemistry all you want. You can struggle as Ginóbili throws it away, but you should not struggle with your effort and energy level.
Farmar fouled by Hill. And Farmar will go to the line.
Well, Ginobili's gotten off to a very poor start. Just throws it right to Farmar. Good push. 3-on-3 break. Hill fouls him. I think Hill in that situation needs to pull his hands back and make Farmar finish the play.
There, Farmar had the surgery, had that injury in the game against Miami. And worked hard. This is his first game back since then. Surgery on the left knee. Let's check with Lisa.
Well, Mike, Jordan Farmar really had to do a sales job to Phil Jackson to be able to play, even though he has been cleared to play and he has been working out. He has not practiced with the team. So Phil told him, okay, I'm not sure if I'm going to let you play, but go out and warm up and let me know how you feel. Even as late as in the layup line, he said, well, I did my best, Lisa. We'll just have to see if he lets me play. Obviously, he did a good job.
And the crowd, Lisa, appreciative as Bonner knocks down the shot. Bonner, who was struggling shooting early, has really been shooting the ball well. He's second in the NBA in three-point shooting. Duncan pokes it away. Ariza able to regain. Gasol just holding. Farmar gets in. Little ball fake, giving Gasol a wide open shot.
people don't realize is because of Pau Gasol's passing ability, it makes him such a great threat on the block. Help comes late. Also, a willing passer gets the basketball back from Jordan Palmer.
Mason on the drive. Won't go. Gasol the rebound. Here come the Lakers. Alley-oop to Ariza. Beautiful pass from Jordan Farmar. And the Spurs call timeout. Welcome back, Farmar. Part of this young bench for the Lakers, energizing the crowd here at the Staples Center.
Jordan Farmar back in town, pushing the ball in transition. Trevor Ariza, meet the ball by the rim. I'm going to put it there, baby. You do the rest.
A couple of guys who grow up in Los Angeles, now playing for the Lakers. Stewart, thank you. The Santa Monica Pier on a beautiful Sunday afternoon in the LA area. Lakers with a brief lead. Phil Jackson wearing the microphone. Let's check in a little bit.
Billy, you all right?
Hello, good Phil. What are you doing?
You've been away from the game for a while.
A couple of weeks, a little tendonitis. Not easy when you're getting older, you know?
A lot of miles to pile up. It's all their tempo. They're dictating the terms. You guys haven't shown any defense on screen roll.
I love that coach ref banter. I like the fact that he knew he wasn't around, that he missed some games because of tendonitis. Billy Spooner, the veteran official.
Now the question is, was Bill Spooner con that Phil Jackson really cares? That is fake hustle.
And a foul. It's going to be against Kobe Bryant, who does not like the call. Bryant picks up his first.
But Phil Jackson talked about they were dictating the tempo, talking about the Spurs. Well, you look at the Lakers defense, all of a sudden the Spurs with no point guard on the floor, they're picking up full court and they're trying to get after the Spurs.
Ginóbili. Bonner for three. Wow. The top of the backboard, then a loose ball foul. It's going to go against Duncan. First on Duncan.
To me right now, the Spurs have got to go into Tim Duncan against Pau Gasol. They have shooting on the floor. Let him go to work against Gasol, trying to overpower, get to the rim, and get to the free throw line.
Duncan with a smile, a little chat with Gasol as the two ran up the floor. Kobe Bryant, too strong. Battle for the rebound. Odom touched it last. For the San Antonio Spurs, this game starts a stretch 12 of their next 13 on the road, including that what they famously call in San Antonio the rodeo trip. And the rodeo's in town at the AT&T Center, so they've got to play a lot of away games. They've had times where the team has really come together during that stretch as Bonner knocks down the two-pointer.
The advantage that the Spurs have, they play the same style basketball, whether they're home or away. They compete, they get after you defensively, and they execute on the offensive end.
Farmar. And Farmar knocks down the jumper, so he's helped spark off the bench. Lakers back up by 3.
And this is an interesting experiment by Gregg that can Roger Mason run the point? If he can, effectively, that gives him another shooter on the floor versus having George Hill on the floor, who's not a scorer or shooter.
Mason turns it over that time. Farmar steps up, hits a three. Jordan Farmar. Missing in action for over a month, but coming back sooner than expected after the knee surgery. Playing well in his first game in a month. And the Lakers go up by 6. The Laker bench, superb to start. They've outscored the Spurs bench 13-2. It's now a 6-point lead. Kobe Bryant 8 points. Good balanced attack right now as Mason gets a rest. The weird thing about the first game between these two, again 11 days ago, they both shot 57% from the field. It was a well-played game. 112-111 was the final score, a high-scoring game. The Spurs won in the final seconds. Duncan against Gasol. Bryant looking to help. Duncan spins away, banks it in. And wanted a foul.
And to me, you keep milking that and milking that and milking that. That brings the tempo to where you want, which is a half-court game. That's exactly what you want to have.
Oh, Farmar looking sharp. 8 points in 6 minutes off the bench.
You got to give a lot of credit to Farmer also. I mean, ready to play, which means he sacrificed, put the time in, and when called upon, as far as the injury is concerned, reaping the benefit.
Ginóbili for 3. That's good. Spurs 4 of 6 from downtown. They continue their excellent shooting from long distance.
You know what Farmar's play shows me? Practice. You don't need practice.
Parker near steals it from Gasol. That's blasphemy coming from you.
Oh, I don't believe it, but I'm just saying. It's easier to say when you're broadcasting.
Travel on Ariza. And that's the 4th turnover for the Lakers.
This guy just did an AI impersonation. Wow.
A bad one.
Who knew I had those skills? But everybody knows Tim Duncan's got skills. You get it to him in the low post, single coverage, he can overpower Pau Gasol. And again, they threw it to Duncan early, kicked it back out to Ginóbili. Ginóbili needs to get going.
NBA Sunday on ABC, brought to you by Lincoln and the technologically breathtaking 2009 Lincoln MKS. Lincoln, reach higher. And Push, the movie that pushes action to a new level. In theaters February 6th.
Back in LA, one of the better rivalries, Lakers and the Spurs. And we asked Tim Duncan, who's seen it all in his NBA career, about
I don't have a problem with it. I do just the same. I'm as competitive as anyone in this entire league, and I'll do the same thing. I'll talk to people during the game. I'll talk to people after the game, before the game. I have friends and the guys I've been around the league with a lot. I don't have a problem with that. When the ball's in play and it's me against you, I'm not going to play any less hard against someone just because they're my friend.
We were asking him about how today's player, lots of times you see as Bonner knocks down the shot, players embracing before the game, smiles, even during the course of the game, having chats, and asked him what he thought about it. Obviously doesn't have a problem. How about you, Mark?
I have no problem with it at all. I can remember playing against players, former teammates, former coaches. I wanted to go after you the same way. In practice, in game situations, playoff situations, it didn't matter. So I certainly can relate to what Tim Duncan is saying.
Jeff?
I think it does matter. I think perception-wise it matters. I think it's particularly in the game, not before the game, not after the game, but in the game. I also think Mark Jackson and Tim Duncan are cut from a different cloth than a lot of guys. Some guys can't separate the friendship from the competition.
Duncan shot blocked by Bynum, his second rejection. Lakers by 1, just under 4.5 remaining in the second. Odom goes right at Bonner. Can't get it to fall. Bynum keeps it alive. And Duncan comes away. 5 rebounds for Duncan. Ginóbili. Nice little fake. Step back. Puts it in. So Ginóbili with a couple of field goals here in the second. Kobe Bryant to the basket. That got blocked from behind. Radmanovich is in for the Lakers. Ginóbili tried to stuff it in, but Radmanovich comes up with it. Bryant 1-on-3, and they call a reaching foul on Bruce Bowen. Second on Bowen. And Spurs in the penalty. So free throws for Bryant. Shop NBAstore.com now for the best selection of Spurs and Lakers gear. Plus get free standard shipping of 2009 NBA All-Star Game jerseys, hats, t-shirts, and more at NBAstore.com. One store, every team. And it's that time of year where the crowd chants MVP to their best player. Of course, Kobe finally got his first one last season.
The announcer should be able to mute the crowd. And every time there's an MVP chant, until it's like the last 2 weeks of the season, we should be able to hit mute so we don't hear it. I mean, they're starting to chant MVP for like 10 guys in this league. It's LeBron James or Kobe Bryant. No one else has earned the right to an MVP chant.
It's fans just showing their support for their player.
It's so tired, so cliche. It's like every arena does the same thing.
I suppose you hate the wave as well.
Thankfully that went by the board. But the kiss cam, if that's next to go, I'll be happy.
42-41. Lakers by 1, 3.5 to play in the second. Parker tiptoeing along the baseline.
See, but I like this. With Lamar Odom on the floor, you can switch them pick and rolls, and it makes it difficult for Parker. I don't think teams do that enough.
Travel on Parker.
And the other thing that the Lakers did defensively that was smart, the help didn't come from anywhere. You live with Tony Parker trying to shoot over Lamar Odom. You don't want to open up shots for this Spurs team.
Odom for 3. Bynum the offensive rebound. Radmanovich way short. There's Parker. Good ball movement. Bonner the open look. Radmanovich the rebound. Bynum inside. 6 points for Bynum. Lakers back up 3.
So we talked about that. Running the length of the floor, getting into the paint, and then giving a big target. Getting rewarded with his hustle down the floor.
Bonner another 2-pointer. And Fisher the rebound. Lakers the #1 scoring team in the NBA at almost 108 per game. Kobe Bryant hits a 3. Only the second 3-pointer for the Lakers. They're 2 of 10, but that gives them a 6-point lead. Bryant the only player in double figures so far. Again, Odom comes out on Parker. Shot clock winding down. Odom does a good job. Hand up. Shot short. Fisher the rebound. Lamar Odom's defense excellent. Odom inside. Takes his time and banks it in. Good work at both ends for the veteran Odom. And this is the largest lead of the game for the Lakers. Ginóbili off the mark. Bryant trying to draw the foul. (49-41). Bonner another wide open look. Not there so far today. He's 3 of 7. Has missed his 3-pointers. He'll try it again. Duncan the rebound. Duncan the drive, lays it in.
I'm sure somebody's watching saying, Bonner has to stop shooting. No, do you. You are a shooter. You get open looks. You take those shots.
Yeah, as we said, he's second in the league in 3-point shooting. But off the mark so far this afternoon. Bryant, nice move, doesn't finish. And Duncan with his 7th rebound. Inside is Parker. And just like that, Spurs back within 4.
Bad job by the Lakers trotting back in defense as far as transition basketball is concerned. 5 guys must load to the ball and stop the penetration of Parker.
And with that quick attack, they got a 2-for-1 opportunity to get the last shot of the half.
Spurs do not have a foul to give. Bryant lost it, gets it back, falling away, puts it in. Kobe Bryant. Gregg, Popovich, and Ginóbili upset. They felt there should have been a foul call. Lakers do have a foul to give, and Fisher takes it wisely. We're going to have a timeout. Ginóbili pleading his case to Billy Spooner. Bryant able to get the ball back after initially turning it over. Knocked away, and knocks down Ginóbili, and knocks it down. 15 for Kobe Bryant. Coming up at halftime, Stuart Scott, John Barry, Avery Johnson, Michael Wilbon will all join us for the T-Mobile halftime report. Kobe's Fave 5 players growing up, plus an interview Magic Johnson did with his Phil Jackson. And the Celtics rolling again after that rough stretch. Meanwhile, Kobe Bryant and the Lakers up by 6. Gregg Popovich not happy with everything. Here's a sampling from a recent huddle.
And lastly, the mental part of the game. We committed a couple of fouls. Manu just committed one. Kurt committed one. 4 points for nothing. We don't need to foul unnecessarily. Let's be smart about that.
So the inbound with 4 seconds remaining. Lakers just used their foul to give. Finley to inbound. Finds Ginóbili. Ginóbili steps back, trying to draw a foul. Blocked by Bryant. And that ends the first half. Some pretty good defense from the Lakers as they hold the Spurs to 41% shooting from the field. And there's the leading scorers in the game with Bryant and Parker. And Kobe Bryant again with 15, also 3 rebounds, and he's with Lisa.
Thanks, Mike. Kobe, you told me before the game that finger sore, especially when you shoot. If it was sore, it didn't look like it. How did it feel out there, team?
It's feeling okay. Just starting to work through it a little bit, getting used to it.
Describe the impact that Jordan Farmar had on that half. First game back, no practice.
Well, he's a big key for us, coming off the bench. He gives us a great spark. And, we missed him tremendously when he was out. We're happy he's back.
Thanks a lot for your time.
You got it.
Mike?
Kobe Bryant, all business here this afternoon. As the Lakers leading by 6. Again, the T-Mobile halftime report coming up. We'll hear from Kobe, hear from another great Laker, Magic Johnson, as he talks with Phil Jackson. And more news around the NBA, including another Celtics blowout victory, all coming up. First half complete here at the Staples Center. The 2 best teams in the West. 11 lead changes in the opening couple of quarters as they head to the locker room. Lakers 51 and the Spurs 45. Leading the way, Jeff.
Well, and I thought the Spurs shot too many jump shots early in the half. Here, Duncan attacking the rim, going right at Bynum, and then a second time. Single coverage, go right at him, go right to the rim, and then Parker is a one-man fast break. He got 2 baskets like this in the first half. The Lakers trotting back versus sprinting back. And as Mark said, not really loading to take away his penetration ability all the way to the rim. I think the Spurs, when they attack the rim, they get more quality shots, not only from the guys attacking, but that leads to open 3-point shots.
And right now, let's check in with Lisa Salters. Lisa.
Well, thanks, Mike. I spoke to Gregg Popovich, and he said the story of that first half for him was the foul situation. He said the Lakers spent 15 minutes in the bonus, and he said that's absolutely ridiculous. He also talked about Manu Ginóbili. Remember, he told us yesterday that he thinks that Manu is getting there, but he said just in that first half, he wasn't himself. Kobe Bryant did a really good job of playing defense on him. And then Manu, he said, didn't let the game come to him. He tried to force it, tried to do too much, and ended up turning the ball over. I just saw him sitting over talking to Manu, sitting on the bench just a minute ago, trying to pump him up, trying to get him to play a little bit better. Mike?
At least he had 3 of their 6 turnovers, and he's had some signs that he's almost back to where he was prior to the injury. But a little bit of a rough first half as we're set to go here to start the third quarter. Same 5 to start for the Lakers with Fisher and Bryant in the backcourt, Walton, Gasol, and Bynum up front. Fisher looking for Bynum. Good defense from Duncan. Shot clock down to 8. Gasol against Bynum. Bonner trying to guard him. Walton lost it, picked up by Bonner. Finley. Parker hesitation, gets in behind the back, all fancy pass, and Mason can't hit the 3. Rebound taken by Bynum.
Tell you what, if I'm the Lakers, I'm not allowing Matt Bonner to defend Pau Gasol one-on-one on the block. Anytime you go on the post, the help comes, you're going to get a high percentage shot. If not, it's one-on-one time for Gasol.
Gasol, a very good passer out of the post. As Kobe Bryant nails the 3. His second three-pointer, 18-point lead. It's 18 for Bryant, and this is the largest lead of the game.
Well, on that split action, again, Roger Mason going under, leaving Kobe Bryant far too much airspace. Well, they throw it in the post, and now they're splitting. And again, he takes a very soft under route and just wide open.
What you have to do in that situation is ride the body of Bryant over the screen. You have to keep contact with him.
Finley on the drive. Parker resets, shot clock winding down. Parker kicks it out, Bonner. Bonner with one on the shot clock, has to hoist it up, does not get it off in time. And a rough start for the Spurs here to begin the third. Matt Bonner had a rough first half. He's been playing very well, but 0 for 4 from three-point range and not happy with himself.
He should be upset that he turned down the open shot created by Parker.
Here's that matchup you talked about, Mark. Bonner on Gasol. As soon as he puts it on the floor, they send the double team, leaving Fisher open. Another wide open three. Gregg Popovich is not happy and quickly calls timeout. As the lead goes up to 12, he is barking at his team right now.
Outstanding execution by the Lakers. Find the mismatch. They do that. If you're Pau Gasol, patiently wait one-on-one. The help comes. Find Derek Fisher. He does. Fisher able to step into a rhythm jump shot. The rotation comes too late. Derek Fisher, this is why I get paid. Knockdown jump shot. Gotcha. We'll be back.
Brought to you by State Farm, where great coverage meets great rates. Call, click, or visit and start saving today. And New Line Cinema's new motion picture, He's Just Not That Into You, in theaters February 6th.
Back in Los Angeles, early third quarter between the Spurs and the Lakers. And many basketball fans aware that the game lost a legend yesterday. Kay Yao passed away after her battle with cancer. A Hall of Famer, a pioneer, so many different ways to discuss this amazing woman who passed away, an Olympic coach. Of course, so many women she touched their lives as an NCAA coach, and just amazing how the most difficult circumstance of her life, the cancer, turned into in many ways her shining moment, the way she was able to handle it over the years. So a great basketball coach has left the game. Walton brings it up for the Lakers. Bynum. Duncan's done a good job on Bynum. Bynum not that time, but draws the foul. And just as we say that, Duncan picks up his second.
You know, one guy that really not getting the credit that he deserves when you talk about Andrew Bynum and his growth as a basketball player. A Hall of Famer, all-time great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Tutoring this young man. Low post scoring, targeting position on the block. There's a reason why a young guy gets so much better so fast. And I think not enough credit has been given to the captain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
And on that line, could the Staples Center security please quit wanding him as he comes in? He's not a security risk, okay? He's the all-time great Laker player. I don't think he's a security risk. Leave him alone, let him walk in. And why can't he park underneath anyway?
Parker on the drive out to Finley. Long with a hand at his face. Finley knocks it down, and the Spurs needed that one as they pull within 12.
And going back to Bynum, Jack Ramsey, the Hall of Fame coach who does radio for ESPN, one of the all-time great coaches, says, who has better footwork in the low post than Andrew Bynum, and especially at his young age?
Well, Bynum, of course, last year was on the verge of becoming an all-star, then had that knee injury, lost for the rest of the season. He's come back, and it's been up and down a little bit. But, Mark, is he close to where he was before the injury?
Yeah, he's right there. You know, before he got injured, he was playing his best basketball, but he is back to that stage right now because on both ends of the floor, he is truly a force.
8 points, 8 boards for Bynum here this afternoon. More importantly, his Laker team up a dozen, and an offensive foul call. Kobe Bryant. Here's the work you spoke of, Mark.
This is outstanding work. You're talking about hands-on. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar able to put time in and show this young man the way to take advantage on the low block.
Duncan upset with one of his teammates. That may have been Bonner. As Parker pulls up on the jump shot, you rarely see him show that emotion. He's talking to Bonner now. Obviously, Bonner wasn't at a place where he was supposed to be.
Let's face it, San Antonio is wide open right now, and they're not making shots. So if you're not going to make shots, it's going to be very difficult. It's a make-or-miss league.
They're shooting 39%. Mason, nice pass. Walton strips Duncan of the ball. Nice defensive help. Walton inside to Bynum. Bynum hammered. And good plays at both ends from Luke Walton. First the steal, then the recognition on the mismatch, and that will send the young Bynum to the free throw line. We mentioned Young earlier, just again 21 years old, right from high school to the NBA. Knocks down the first. The NBA on ABC continues Sunday with the Eastern Conference rivalry. Coverage begins at 2 Eastern, GMC NBA Countdown, and it's LeBron James and the Cavaliers against the Detroit Pistons from the Palace. The showdown in Motown, ABC next Sunday. As we mentioned earlier, a big weekend for the Pistons. They play the Celtics on Friday at home, and then LeBron James and the Cavs. Free throw difference huge right now. 19 attempts for the Lakers, just 6 for San Antonio. Duncan takes his time, got whacked in the head, it looked, and backs it in.
But I like their spacing better right then. Tony Parker wasn't the first perimeter player in front of the ball where you could help off of him more. They put a shooter in front of Duncan, which made it easier for Duncan to generate more space and get into his move cleanly.
Parker to Mason, right back. Tony Parker looking for an opening. Parker knocks it down. 13 for Parker.
But his 13, other than a couple of plays, have been 13 that you can live with. Tony Parker's not getting into the paint, breaking down the interior of your defense. Those are jump shots. And if you're the Lakers, you can live with that.
Bynum can't get it to go. Duncan wrestles it away from Walton. Parker, a little hesitation. Bynum, good job defensively.
Here's Tony Parker. You got to get the basketball back with Andrew Bynum. You allow Luke Walton to switch on.
Mason off the mark. And a foul called on Bonner. The Spurs, again, who are the second best three-point shooting team in the NBA, just 4 of 14 here today.
And Bonner and Mason have been wide open. Their two best three-point shooters have not come through when they've needed him here today, but they've generated quality three-point looks.
I think the Lakers have done a very good job on the big three, Duncan, Ginóbili, and Parker, but they've done a poor job on the shooting.
Nice entry pass from Gasol. Kobe Bryant backs it in. Lead back up to a dozen, just under 6.5 remaining in the third. Ginóbili wide open. Just his third field goal. See Phil Jackson there, who is going to be the Western Conference All-Star coach for the 4th time. Bryant lost it on the way up.
And thrilled about it, Mike. Thrilled, absolutely thrilled to be spending this weekend in Phoenix.
It's certainly an honor, and it certainly is. Gasol misses. Bynum right there, and the putback. Andrew Bynum puts the Lakers back up by 12. And certainly Phil glad that his team has the best record in the West, but there are some that would prefer a little time off.
But it is an honor.
What's your fondest memory of being the All-Star coach?
Well, I think you got to see some different players in a different light. And mine was seeing Reggie Miller when everyone else at the All-Star game practice is messing around. Reggie Miller's out there working like he's getting ready to play in a real game. And I was impressed.
Parker brings it up. It just seemed like it's been an uphill climb for the Spurs. Parker gets inside. Bynum alters the shot, and the Lakers come away. Bryant double into Gasol, and he puts it in, and a foul. Tim Duncan wide-eyed, didn't like the call. That's his third. And Pau Gasol with a chance for a three-point play.
Good patience by Bryant. Baseline penetration. Good pass fake. Good rotation over. Little soft on the foul, but excellent pass. Pau Gasol's got great hands and it's very, very good finishing around the basket.
Duncan with 3 now. As we said earlier, Kobe Bryant said Gasol definitely deserves to be the All-Star team because he's played well. And don't forget, he won the silver medal at the Olympics.
Made sure to tell us that.
Lead up to 15, largest of the game. Finley, Duncan draws the contact, puts it in, and he'll get a chance for a three-point play. So good ball movement from the Spurs.
And this is what the Spurs have to do. Man movement, ball movement. Michael Finley comes off the down screen. The defense adjusts, gets the basketball in low post to Tim Duncan in position to catch and score.
Tim Duncan telling us yesterday, I like where we are. Knows there's room for improvement, but considering the injuries and the inconsistency, he thinks they will be right there come May and June.
Let's not forget, last year in the series against the Lakers, they were up 20 in the second half of game 1, up 20 in game 5. So they can play with them.
Oh, Walton grabs him. They're going to call a flagrant. Going to be a flagrant 1. As Walton didn't mean any harm, but grabbed him in an awkward fall for Tony Parker. So a flagrant foul. It's going to be 2 shots and the ball.
I don't think they're going to call the flagrant, Mike. Now I think as he went by Walton. And I think that's a good non-call of the flagrant foul. Parker he landed awkwardly as Walton fouled him, but certainly there was no malice in that foul.
No, you're right. My mistake. No flagrant, just they called it in the act of shooting. So Parker hits the first. Now Phil Jackson will call timeout. Walton quickly after Parker fell to the ground said to him, "You okay?" So we'll take a timeout. Lakers starting to take control here in the third quarter. At 8-7 Central, a war hero returns to a home devastated by a tornado, but this makeover won't just rebuild his house. It will rebuild an entire town. ABC's Extreme Makeover Home Edition, all new Sunday. That's tonight, 8-7 Central on ABC. Tim Duncan talking with Monty McCutcheon. His team right now down by 11 here, a little bit past the midway point of the third quarter. All right, what's key? What do the Spurs need to do to get themselves right back in it? Not that they're out of it yet.
Well, the same things that they're known for. You got to get stops, and then you have to get easy basket opportunities. They're at their best when they're pushing the ball down your throat off of turnovers, missed shots, Tony Parker creating havoc, Ginóbili getting into the seams, and Tim Duncan on the block.
They're going to have to get to the free throw line and stop the Lakers from getting to the free throw line and make the open three-point shots that they've been presented so far in the second half.
Parker with a steal. Parker drives inside and banks it in. Right now, let's check in with Lisa.
Well, Mike, that was exactly what Phil Jackson did not want to see. He just told his team in the huddle, no more turnovers. He said every time we make one, they score. They make us pay. Let's end this quarter the right way. We messed up the end of the first quarter. Let's end this one the right way. Mike?
Well, Lisa, they only had 4 turnovers the entire first half. They've already had 4 here in the third, but Kobe Bryant makes it a little easier by knocking down that shot. Duncan on the drive. Good defense from Bynum. That's his third. Check that, his 4th block of the game. Shot clock did not reset. Deflected by Fisher. And then a loose ball foul on Duncan. 4 on Duncan. That whole play started with Bynum's defense.
Well, you watch Andrew Bynum, and I tell you what, you get the sense that now this young man gets it. Not only does he block the shot, but he's off to the races. He's ready to take off on the other end. Getting it done defensively, offensively, he is the package at the center position.
Now there's a question on whether or not how many team fouls the Spurs have. Nemad over, checking, and they're in the penalty, so they're going to shoot. So Duncan's 4th is the team's 5th, and with 3:27 remaining, Lakers will go back to the line where they've been there 20 times already, compared to just 9 free throw attempts for San Antonio.
But Gregg Popovich touched on this before. Unnecessarily fouling 94 feet away from the basket. Not only does it take your most valuable player to the bench with his 4th foul, but it presents the Lakers opportunities to not have to earn their points, but gifted their points.
Bynum misses our NBA calendar tonight on ESPN. It's the Rockets and the Pistons from the Palace, 6:30 Eastern. NBA TV Fan Night Tuesday. Lakers will be at home against the Charlotte Bobcats. Doubleheader TNT Thursday. Cleveland at Orlando. Terrific game there. And then the Spurs will be in Phoenix against the Suns. And ABC next Sunday. An Eastern Conference rivalry. Cleveland and Detroit.
Look at that Bobcats team. You got to give credit to Larry Brown, the Hall of Fame coach. The job that he's doing getting that young team to fight and battle night in and night out.
Finley. Quick catch and shoot. Won't go. Alberto, good job tipping it back. Where will the Spurs get their offense with Duncan on the bench with the 4 fouls? Ginóbili triple team. Lost it. Picked up by Fisher. Eric Fisher was playing a lot of minutes when Farmar was out. 40 plus on a number of occasions. Amazing. He's in great shape. As he gets older, Fisher kicks it out. Ariza open for 3. Bang! Trevor Ariza, 8 points off the bench and his usual good defense, and it's a 14-point Laker lead. Alberto, Bynum got caught, did not see the ball. Bynum has played well defensively. Got a season-high tying 4 blocks so far. Kurt Thomas, the veteran. Bynum spins, won't go.
But you'd much rather Bynum be taking turnaround baseline jump shots than shoot his jump hook. Good, solid low-post defense by Kurt Thomas.
Parker, bump, gets in, high off the glass. Pretty shot from Tony Parker. He's staying in LA tonight. He's going to the SAG Awards. His wife up, Desperate Housewives, up for an award. Screen Actors Guild Awards. You think you guys going?
Is his wife an actress?
Too many award shows. SAG, Golden Globes.
Bynum lost it, got it back, blocked by Thomas, but a foul. Good battle between the two.
How can you complain about award shows? A show of appreciation.
It's too many. But there's not enough Bynum. He's going to work up and under. Got fouled the first time and went strong. Got fouled the second time.
You got to give credit to Mitch Kupchak. People were saying, hey, trade Andrew Bynum for Jason Kidd. Trade Andrew Bynum, get rid of him. Hung on to this young man and now has a solid center for a long time to come. Something to build on.
We also give him credit for picking him 10th in that 2005 draft. It was kind of a surprise pick, a little bit of a risk. His senior year in high school, he had a sprained knee, didn't play a lot. Wasn't even the leading scorer on his high school team. He was the second leading scorer. So people were surprised, but Kupchak saw that potential. Ball knocked out of bounds. They knew he wasn't going to have to produce right away. He had some time to mature. He did. Even early on, it was a bit. He gets a nice ovation, and deservedly so, as he goes to the bench. Wasn't from New Jersey.
And it's not only that trade. There's been a lot. Jordan Farmar, late first-round pick. Odom in the Shaquille O'Neal trade. Vujacic, late-round pick. The trade for Ariza. He's done an unbelievable job building the talent base up around Kobe Bryant.
And of course, that trade that you enjoyed so much last year, Pau Gasol.
Don't even get me started. The Memphis Grizzlies are now the worst organization in professional sports. No, they go through coaches like no get out. Instead of examining what's really wrong, which is the ownership and his lack of commitment to winning right now, and he's about making money. I mean, it is really wrong what's going on there. It's wrong for the NBA.
Ginóbili gets inside. Second effort is good. It's a shame because a few years ago, they were getting in the first round of the playoffs. U.B. Brown was the coach. Things were going well, but it has really gone down.
They were trying to win. Yeah. They were trying to win. Now they're trying to make money. Whenever you lose sight of winning as your #1 goal, you're going to get stung in this league.
Meanwhile, the Spurs getting stung by the play of Trevor Ariza. 11 points in 14 minutes off the bench, and the Lakers back up by 13.
Tell us how you really feel, Coach Van Gundy.
I mean, come on.
Ginóbili for three. Won't go, and Lakers will hold it for the final shot. Odom against Alberto. Little hesitation move down the lane. Runner, backer won't go. Thomas the rebound. And that ends the third. Andrew Bynum and the Lakers with a strong third quarter. Bynum 9 of his points here in the third period. He's got a double-double and a season-high blocks. And his Lakers lead by 13. This presentation of this NBA Sunday on ABC continues after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Continues his learning from his mentor. That was during the break between the third and the fourth quarter. Bynum really growing up. Again, just so young. He's a very quiet kid. Says, I'm boring. That's what he says. He's only 21 years old. He's not boring the crowd here. They gave him a nice ovation when he came out after the third quarter. Alberto, Kurt Thomas jump shot. Knocked out of bounds.
You know, all the right things said by Phil Jackson about Andrew Bynum during the break. But the last thing, he really looks forward to playing against named guys. I think that's where you become a great player. You have to be ready to dominate night in and night out, no matter who you're facing.
Gasol puts it in. He had 42 against the injury-depleted Clippers earlier. But then you come out and you play a terrific game against one of the best defenders ever to play the game, Duncan. Finley, a floater. Well, a couple of times the Lakers looked like they were on the verge of really blowing this open. Spurs have managed to kind of hang on. Right now, though, a 15-point lead. Lamar. Gasol, nice pass. Oh, what a pretty feed from the big man, and this is the largest lead of the game.
Having a big, skilled guy that can play the point center, that's a willing passer. That time, moving without the ball, Jordan Farmer got rewarded.
Ginóbili misses it. How about Farmer missing 17 games after the knee surgery? He comes back his first game, 10 points in 9 minutes off the bench. Spinning, lost it. So Vujacic, Farmer, Ariza, and Odom. How about that for 4 bench guys?
And Odom defensively today has been outstanding with his ability to switch, help, and cover ground.
There's the rookie Hill. Scoop shot won't go. Alberto right there. They're going to wave off Alberto's basket and call a foul on Hill's shot. It's against Farmer. A 2-shot foul.
Well, Gasol has just a great skill set. Can make a 15-footer, but he's an outstanding passer, both from the low post and high post. Just good vision, puts the ball away from the defense. And again, Farmer moving well without the ball.
Here's Hill, the rookie. Unknown rookie coming out of college. He was born and raised in Indianapolis. Big-time scorer in high school. Averaged about 36 a game in high school. Then went to little-known IUPUI in Indianapolis. First player in school history to be drafted by the NBA. As you see, first member of his family to attend college. Gregg Popovich thinks he can be not good, a great defender in this league. And when Parker went out with that injury and missed 9 games, Hill did some really nice things.
You got to give him a lot of credit. One of the main reasons why this team is in first place, because in the absence of Tony Parker, Manu Ginóbili gave quality minutes and played like a veteran.
And yet I wouldn't be surprised for the Spurs if it comes down to the last 20 games of the year to go with Jock Vaughn instead of George Hill.
Hill misses that one. Vujacic's the rebound. Vaughn, the veteran, down on the depth chart, but always ready. Just over 2 minutes gone by here in the fourth. Lakers started to open this one up in the third quarter. Oh, another beautiful pass from Pau Gasol. That's a 7-footer throwing those passes. Four assists for Gasol. Back up to 17. Mason. Shot clock at 2. And Mason out of bounds as Billy Spooner makes the call after tripping over the camera. And how about this guy?
Outstanding vision. Talk about the size, the ability to fight for position. Double team comes. I see you, Lamar Odom. Be ready to catch and finish.
I can see why the Grizzlies wanted to get rid of him.
That's not going back. Ariza! Oh, the finish from Trevor Ariza. And it's a 19-point lead. Pau Gasol on the Laker bench extending here in the fourth quarter. Largest lead of the game. Kurt Thomas lost it. Gets it back. Ime Udoka in the game. Hits the shot clock. And the Lakers starting to pull away here in the fourth quarter. And doing so with Kobe Bryant on the bench.
Well, the overall talent and depth of the Lakers has been on full force display. Here, Odom gets the ball in the post to Ariza. The athleticism, the bench play for the Lakers has been the difference here tonight.
Moving forward, and Best Buy, you happier.
Welcome back to Los Angeles. Lakers taking control here in the second half. They lead the Spurs 87-68 with 3.5 gone by here in the fourth. Time for our Bud Light freeze frame. Kobe Bryant started off strong as he was ready for this challenge against the second best record in the West, the San Antonio Spurs. But Bryant might be able to rest quite a bit here in the fourth quarter as his team has opened up a 19-point lead. He's averaging less minutes a game this year. Part of the reason that they had a lot of fourth quarters that he hadn't had to play.
I think if you're Phil Jackson, that's a good sight. You're going to have a fresh Kobe Bryant to close out games when it matters most.
And again, they have a lot of road games coming up. Lakers and Spurs 1-2 in terms of fewest road games so far. Nice save from Ginóbili. Udoka misses. Ball tipped nicely by Farmar. Farmar just looks so happy to be back on the floor after missing a little over a month. Lamar left-handed, rolls off. Tell you what, for a guy whose first game back after knee surgery, he's really attacking. And there's that defense from Odom you spoke of, Jeff. His defense forced that turnover. Gasol inside, Banker won't go. They're going to wave off that basket. It's a foul on Gasol's shot. That's against Ginóbili. And Duncan and Parker just might be finished.
I think you're right on that one.
I mean for the game.
Yes.
Bowen and Alberto comes in. Ginóbili and Thomas will sit. Gasol and his numbers includes 4 assists, some real pretty passes. I think you forget about Gasol too. When we talk about young players, Gasol's only 28, right in his prime. 21-point lead for the Lakers. And this one's turning into a blowout. Hill blocked by Gasol. Lakers not relenting at all here despite the big lead. Still coming right at him. There's a deflection. Bowen got his hands on it. And he'll control it. Oh, and it's right back to the Lakers. So Laker ball. Bryant resting. Lost is back. Wednesdays at 9, 8 Central on ABC. Last Wednesday, 20 million people returned to the island, making this season's premiere of Lost bigger than ever. Great new season of Lost just getting started. Hill to Udoka. Bruce Bowen steps up for a two-pointer and knocks that down.
I can understand Kobe Bryant lobbying for Pau Gasol to get into the All-Star game, but no need for that. It'd be an embarrassment if Pau Gasol is not in Phoenix at the All-Star game, the way that he's played for this Los Angeles Lakers team.
And Mason called for a foul. That's only the second foul. And he admitted, as Lisa Salters reported earlier, it's still very painful. But if anybody can put that stuff out of his mind, he's just able to deal with it. Still has that stitches from above his eye from that collision with Dwayne Wade. That shot won't go. Udoka the rebound. Vujacic trying to poke it back. Alberto and Udoka play catch. And Odom the rebound. 6 points, 10 rebounds for Odom. And that defense that Jeff spoke of. Monty McCutcheon tells Udoka to take it easy. Fouls on Alberto. And a timeout call by the Lakers. So as we approach the halfway point of the fourth quarter, Lakers in complete control. Pau Gasol, another strong game, a 19-point lead. Stewart's first game, as you mentioned, a blowout. This one on the verge of a blowout as the Lakers winning big. Beautiful view of the Santa Monica Pier. Again, we had the Western Conference All-Stars. Here's the Eastern Conference starters. So we asked Mark and Jeff for their reserves. Mark, you go first this time. Who's your 7 reserves for the Eastern Conference?
I feel good about my picks. Joe Johnson from the Hawks, Mo Williams. The Cavs do an outstanding job. Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, Kendrick Perkins, Rashard Lewis, and Chris Bosh. I broke the golden rule, but Chris Bosh is there. Perkins, 37 wins. I had to have a center.
Well, my center is Andrew Bynum, and I have a new rule. All right, he's on the Eastern Conference All-Stars because now it's either you play in the East or you're born in the East. He's from New Jersey. He's my Eastern Conference backup center.
You can't just change the rules.
I'm changing the rule because you can't find a center that's deserving there. And Jameer Nelson should be there. He's an outstanding player on a top 4 team in the NBA.
I totally agree. That's why I disagree with having to pick a center or backup center. Pick the best 7 guys. Jameer Nelson deserves to be there.
How about Danny Granger, 4th in the NBA in scoring?
Their team is 16 and 27. So it's so hard to pick guys anyway, so you have to go. Winning has to be important. It just has to be. I mean, you could make the case for Bosh, Danny Granger, Al Jefferson. There's a lot of guys who put up big numbers for substandard teams.
Do you think, though, if any year to be able to put guys on from teams that don't have winning records, this is the year because there's no real clear-cut one guy over another?
I'll take Anderson Varejao, which may be blasphemy to some, over Chris Bosh as my backup center.
I think that's nuts. With all due respect to Andy Varejao, who's having a really good year. Odom nearly tipped that in.
But I'm not just going to let it go underneath the rug. Andrew Bynum as your starting center on the Eastern Conference team. That is an absolute joke. And Andrew Bynum himself would tell you that.
No, he wouldn't. Andrew Bynum's giving me the nod over here. You're right. I deserve to be on the All-Star. Hey, he may deserve to be on the Western Conference All-Star team.
I have no problem with that. At least you're making sense.
No, I'm just saying, you got to find, why not the best 24? Why does it have to be East versus West? Just get the best players there.
Oh, stop it.
Why? What's it matter?
Because that's the way they do it. The East versus the West.
They don't compete hard in the game, so let's just play the best 24 players. I got another suggestion for you for All-Star Weekend.
What's that?
All right? You take the winning starting team from the championship year. Then you get the 2 best players that weren't involved in the championship last year. So, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James. You pick 5 guys, I pick 5 guys. You play a quarter, and then the winner of that game plays the starting 5 from the championship team. That's your Saturday night. Forget the 3-point shooting. Forget that outdated dunk contest. Let me get some real competition. And you know what? If you need a sponsor, I'll get you the sponsor.
Farmar puts up a 3 and puts it in. We got to be careful. Mark and I were both threatened at halftime from the actor Michael Duncan Clark. He says that we pick on you too much.
That's exactly right. And that's why Green Mile was my favorite movie of all time.
Michael Clark Duncan. Now I'm going to get me in trouble. Alberto misses. And Ariza rips down the rebound.
I couldn't believe the fact that he was standing here at the table waiting for us to get here, to get your back.
He wasn't kidding either. No, there's a lot of people who have noticed that you guys are picking on him.
Radmanovich got whacked, but they let it go. Here's Austin Crozier, just recently signed to a 10-day contract with the Spurs. Hill, a hard foul from Radmanovich.
My question is, when did you think about that weird, as we take a look at Michael Clark Duncan, I apologize, but when did you think about that weird all-star event of yours?
I think, what do you mean weird? Wouldn't it be great to see Kobe Bryant and LeBron James at half court choosing sides? Then they play 12 minutes for the right to advance to take on the Boston Celtics starting team.
I'll tell you when he thought of it, on the car ride over to the arena, because you live in L.A., you didn't come from a hotel, and that's where we got all these various ideas.
You don't like that idea? You'd rather see the dunk contest, Nate Robinson missing 22 straight dunks, and then being crowned the winner? That's good basketball?
I agree with you. I'd rather see Kobe Bryant and LeBron James going rock, paper, scissors for the first pick.
Or, hey, how about them just one-on-one to 11?
Now you're getting warm.
I used to love that CBS one-on-one that they used to do at halftime of games.
Oh, the horse.
All right, that would be pretty cool. As Hill fouls Farmar. 3:41 remaining. What's turned into a blowout win. It's a 15-point lead, but it's not as close as even the score indicates. Lakers have been in complete control most of the second half, and Gregg Popovich has rested his key guys now here in the fourth quarter.
But I agree with you with the Nate Robinson, though. He should be banned for life.
Oh, no, come on.
Taking 30 minutes to complete a dunk, that's a lifetime ban.
How can you win after that? You have to go back and assess your rules. If you can miss dunk after dunk and still win.
And they did change the rules.
That would be like missing in this three-point shooting contest. All right, you miss every three-point shot. Hey, you're the winner.
They did change the rules, and hopefully he's going to learn from his mistakes as Hill misses. Battling underneath, top of the backboard's inbounds, although out on the sideline is not, as Alberto tips it out. Meanwhile, the Lakers, this is a very impressive beating of the second-best team in the Western Conference. And a Spurs team that came in, they'd won 4 in a row, played excellent defense. Ariza bumped from behind by Bowen, who helps him up. And after this, the Lakers on the road. Now they've got, so far, they've played, this is their 43rd game. Of the first 42, 27 of them at the Staples Center. 25 home games and 2 road games against the Clippers. They have the most road games left in the NBA for the rest of the season.
And I believe if you're an elite team, even though you pay attention to the schedule, whether it's home or away, the important thing is to be playing great basketball and take care of business no matter what the schedule says.
And Trevor Ariza continues his terrific play. 15 points for Ariza. Leads up to 18. He has become so valuable. And, you know, that was, everybody talked about Bynum being out with an injury at the end of the season in the playoffs. Ariza, his loss was in some ways just as important. Shot clock winding down, and Alberto banks it in.
And like you said, last year against the Celtics, they didn't have that athletic forward coming off the bench to be able to guard Paul Pierce.
Offensive foul on Farmar, and we're going to take a timeout. Under 3 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter. What's going to be a very impressive win for the Lakers. We'll be at the Palace of Auburn Hills as the Cavaliers visit the Pistons. Cleveland, unbelievable, 34-8, still undefeated at home, pretty good on the road as well. And that'll be a matchup on ABC. Meanwhile, Andrew Bynum, what a job he did this afternoon, Mark.
Oh, this is when the Lakers are at their best, when you get the big guys getting it done on both ends. Andrew Bynum running the floor, ceiling, and then active on the offensive boards. Pau Gasol, nothing short of spectacular. Also making plays time and time again. Isolation, finding guys, threading the needle, taking the double team. Somebody's open. My goodness, to look away over the shoulder to Lamar Odom. The 2 big guys for the Lakers putting on a clinic.
And learning to play together. He's come a long way. Again, Gasol's such a good passer. Chris Mim just in the game, gets a block right away. Udoka can't get to the fall. Josh Powell the rebound.
It's been a while, but Chris Mim, before his ankle injury a few years ago, was a pretty darn good center in this league. It's just a luxury that they have him as a third or fourth center.
And all those surgeries on the right ankle. Been a long road back. Right now, not part of the rotation. Just to see him out there playing is a nice thing. Udoka in and out, and then the rebound.
It shows you the depth of the Los Angeles Lakers because Chris Mim is a rotation guy for the majority of teams in this league.
He missed a whole year after having surgery. But also, too, Radmanovich in some ways has kind of fallen out. I mean, you got guys that tough to get any kind of regular minutes for some of them. Here's Crozier. Puts it in and a foul. Crozier's 10-day contract runs out tomorrow. Most likely the Spurs expected to renew that. And the veteran had a lot of good solid years with the Pacers. Well, they're all packed with ice.
That's a good sign. If you're a good basketball team, that's a good sign when your key guys are over on the sideline resting, getting treatment.
Yeah, but Luke Walton, you only played 16 minutes. You don't have to ice your knees.
Kobe and the ring finger taking off some of the padding. Bryant did not have to play in this fourth quarter at all.
That's like the Red Auerbach victory cigar right there. When you go to the ice bag in the fourth, wow.
Vujicic knocks it down. You know, we said at the top that Gregg Popovich uses these games during the course of the year, and Popovich is one of the all-time best at looking at the big picture and what he can learn from playing against the Lakers should they match up against them. What does he learn here today?
I think what he learns is that they need to have one move. They need one more talented player, starting four, a starting wingman, something to give them some more explosion like the Lakers have.
Vujicic on the steal. Well, there might be a lot of teams with expiring contracts making deals before the trading deadline. It's expected to be a pretty busy time in the NBA. And they also need Ginóbili, of course, to get back to form.
But you make a good point. Popovich is, I believe, the best to ever look at the big picture and understand. His concern right now is whether we get another live body or not. My job is to make sure we're right at the finish line. That I have a healthy Tony Parker, Manu Ginóbili, Tim Duncan, and then the rest of the role guys filling in doing their job. I believe truly that he feels, if that is the case, that they can match up with anybody in a 7-game series and win.
Well, last year, a lot of people said, it might be past their time, but they did make it to the conference final. Weren't healthy. Ginóbili was not healthy, although the Lakers were still the better team last year. So Alberto banks it in. We wind down another Laker win. They'll improve now to 35-8 on the season. And 23-3 here at Staples Center. And this one, even though it's 16, wasn't that close in the second half. The Lakers dominating the second half. It was a 6-point game at halftime. And Lakers slowly pulled away. Udoka and a blocking foul.
And you know what I love about the Spurs? The game is over. A lot of guys who come into the game late are just looking to get theirs. On that possession right there, they played really good basketball. Shared it, cut, moved, spaced the floor. And it has nothing to do with anything other than it's a mark of their true professionalism as a group.
And Bowen doing his teaching to the rookie Hill. And that will close out the scoring. Shot clock's turned off. And Vujicic will dribble it up. Laker fans appreciative of another terrific performance. The two best teams in the Western Conference. Wasn't much of a battle in the second half. As the Lakers with a very impressive victory over the San Antonio Spurs, snapping the Spurs winning streak at 4. An easy victory for Kobe Bryant. Didn't have to play the fourth quarter. Had 22 through the first 3. As the Lakers win once again. Final score 99-85. For Jeff Van Gundy, Mark Jackson, Lisa Salters, and our entire ABC crew, this is Mike Green saying so long from LA. Don't forget, check out the season premiere of Life on Mars on ABC this Wednesday. Now, except on the West Coast, stay tuned for ABC's World News. Thanks for watching ABC, home of the NBA.